Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Evening of Poetry at the Adrian's Memorial Library that's held every third Thursday. Deb Shawn is usual host, but she's not with us this evening. And in the beginning, I used to help her out. With that, well, I was a poetry host, and then it's just a night of intrigue into the literary world of poems and stories. So, Daniel Buzi, I've crossed paths with him years ago at the, it was a place on Raymond Avenue, the Beatnik Hollow. Or was it the Beatnik Hollow?
No, it was
the
a
Cubby
hole.
Hole. It was a hole. We called it the Cubby Hole. Beatnik Hollow was a place in Wappingers, but the Cubby Hole was the watering hole, the trading post for musicians and poets. And Dan used to show up with his pipe in hand, coming from Marist, and over time we'd just crank out the words and even some music. He settled into the area here with his lovely wife, Rosie, the Riveter, by the way. Not American, but from Canada. Always have to throw it in there. But it's all good because they are a dynamic duo. We've done many adventures, and one which is the meditations and physicality, but ever discussions on the creative endeavors. So, without further ado, Daniel Buzi.
Thank you, Gordon. So, everybody, tonight I'm going to share a series of poems with you from a new little chapbook I put together called Breathing In, Breathing Out. And we're going to start actually with a little guided breath awareness meditation, okay? And as we do that, you can close your eyes, you can keep your eyes open, you do what makes you feel comfortable. That's really the most important thing. So from the meditation, as we're able to still ourselves a little bit, I'll start reading into some of these poems. And I would ask that as I read through it tonight, if you really like it, feel what you feel in your body as you really like it. Don't worry about clapping or anything like that, okay? And if you can't help yourself and you're so overwhelmed by a line or a poem, give a couple of snaps, that's fine, okay? But I want to give everyone a chance to feel whatever they feel throughout the experience, and then at the end we'll open the mic to the other poets. So that's the plan. So to begin, let your feet rest comfortably on the ground. Sit comfortably in the chair and put your hands somewhere on your lap, or where it's comfortable. And I start just by noticing the breath. Notice the breath as it comes in. And as it goes out. Breathe naturally. If the breath is long, let it be long. And if the breath is short, let it be short. Nothing to do. After our day, we have a moment to just sit. Nothing special, just the breath. Noticing the touch of the breath as you breathe in. And the touch of the breath as you breathe out. But your attention may not stay for very long with the breath. As soon as you notice that your mind has begun to wander, allow it to come back naturally. Don't create any tension in your body or in your mind. Simply allow the attention to return to the breath. Again and again, returning, always returning. And as you listen, allow the attention to return again and again to the breath. Even if you lose track of what I'm saying, come back again and again. The sea is swimming sea. The air is breathing we without believing on, woven as we're weaving. The sea is swimming sea. The air is breathing we without believing on, woven as we're weaving. Sea is swimming, sea. There is a warmth that comes with release, a cool breeze with expansion. The boy sitting on the beach, watching the waves come in, the waves go out. There is a white boat there in the distance, floating on the horizon near the clouds, bobbing oh so slightly with the waves. The eyes rest there, breathing. Just this. There is nothing to see, nothing that sees, everything shining, shimmering like leaves from a tree. Falling, I breathe, my breath connects me, I see. The sight is me. There is nothing to see, nothing that sees, everything shining, shimmering like leaves from a tree. Falling, I breathe. My breath connects me. I see. The sight is me. There is nothing to see. Dancing down. When the car breaks down, you find yourself sitting still, watching the traffic go by, sipping on a coffee, and you watch the breeze pick off the first leaves of autumn, toss this way and that, dancing, dancing, the whole way down. Here's an ordinary thing. The ordinary thing is a power cord. This is about untangling things. It was my job to untangle the power cord. You've got the patience for that, he said, and he handed me a gnarled lump. I took it from one end, just as interesting as anything else, and pulled it through the first loop. Easy. He had the patience to watch for a while, and in a while, I pulled it through the second loop. I felt his eyes on me and tried to hurry, but it was no use to hurry. He said where he'd be when I finished. I pulled it through the third loop. The tail grew longer, the knots more complex, but after a time, I pulled it through the fourth loop. And a greater time still, I pulled it through the fifth loop and found nothing but straight cord falling orange and easy, loose to the floor. In a coil, I gathered it up and brought it to my father. Sometimes, if we follow the breath continuously, without interruption, we reach a beautiful place. But there's a certain instability there. This poem is called Light Air. In the high halls, the air is light. Bring a sword. The room will shift and sudden streams will carry you off. In the high halls, be prepared to fight. Every word is also a cliff, and subtle streams will carry you off. In the high halls, it is never night, but shadows swarm and scurry swift. Be vigilant, or they'll carry you off. In the high halls, the demons do not bite. They bind with cords, soft as a kiss. Keep vigilant, or they'll drag you off. Keep vigilant. Return your attention to the breath. There's a bottom too. A place where it all blends together. This next poem is called Deep Down. Down there at the bottom of the breath lies a swamp, deep morass, thick as molasses with lichen and mud, clinging vines and slithering things. Down there deep in the breath, it all blends together like a well-cooked stew of frogs and forgotten memories, till you can't tell the tale of an alligator from the tale your mama told you to go to sleep those many years ago. And down so deep down, it all blends together. A slight sensation, that love you thought would last forever, the bubbling laughter deep in the belly, the curled up child crying on the bed, the way you'd put your bare feet up on the cold wall and sing a song that came from nothing, the deep and fecund nothing, crying for becoming, down there deep, so deep down at the bottom of the breath. And sometimes the bottom of the breath follows you out into the front hallway. This next poem is called Shadows. At night, when the street lights putter into the front vestibule, all our lights are off. The furniture of the day, tucked into some dark corner, plays tricks on the eyes. Is some monster, a regret, or just the years passing by? I turn to the stairs and search for a smile, a little light in the hallway there, Rosie up reading or brushing her teeth. I couldn't tell her about the things downstairs, and the worst ones I know, living in the basement. I shouldn't mention the foundations where I see cracks, even if no light passes through them. Shouldn't mention the ways that meaning slips away, and sometimes the best things are nothing but a shadow in a dark hall. Wake up, little dreamer, wake up. There's more to life than you know. Down a slippery stream we row on our dreams. Wake up, little dreamer. Let's go. And let us return once again to the breath. Mind has a way of wandering. Notice the sensation below the nostrils and above the upper lip. The air as it passes in, as it passes out. The cool breeze in, the warm breeze out. Boy on the beach, watching the boat on the horizon. This next poem is called How to Cross the Stream. Notice a foot. Lift a foot. Place a foot at the water's edge on the soft, wet moss. How it feels beneath the toes. Between the toes, the sound of the water against the rocks. Notice another foot. Lift the other foot. Place the other foot attentively in the water, cool and flowing. Rounded rocks beneath the soles. A dragonfly zips by, the water falls a bit further on, the leaves rustle in the wind. The foot now still on the moss, lifts, steps, settling down just ahead of the other. The water laps around it. The sun sparkles through the leaves, dancing with the water. Another step, the sensations of lifting, the sensations of stepping, the sensations of flowing, the sensations of light, sensations like this, sensations like that, no foot, no step, no stream to cross. I was watching my mind the other morning, wondering what would come of the day. I was sitting around by myself praying over a coffee on a Friday. What's the use of this pushing and pulling? Plans and memories, wanting to say, let the day come, we'll make it happen. What's the difference anyway? I was watching my mind the other morning, wondering what would come of the day. I was sitting around by myself praying over coffee on a Friday. I was tapping my foot, biting my nails. Time slips by in funny ways. Time was ticking the clock, I was digging the rhythm. Minutes and moments, days and days. I was watching my mind the other morning, wondering what would come of the day. I was sitting around is swimming. See? The air is breathing. We, without believing, are woven as we're weaving. And now, if your eyes are still closed, allow them to open slowly. Move your toes, move your fingers. And at the end of things, I'll read the dedication to the book. This book is dedicated with love to Michael Sibilia, Michael Cosman, and the many people I've been blessed to know who showed me the power of awareness, and also to my Dhamma friends, Christophe Fontaine, Dan Doninger, and Gordon Riggs, who are good and wholesome company on this road to liberation. Most of all, it is dedicated to my beautiful wife, Rosie, who keeps me grounded in love and who opens the space for me to explore all of these various wisdom traditions. Thank you all for coming out. I'd like to open the reading seat to whoever would like to go next. And we'll just go clockwise since no one raised their hand.
Anybody else?
Well, you're the first one clockwise.
Oh my God. Wow. Okay. Somebody's glasses.
Oh, yeah. I'm familiar with
Lose
those.
those, buddy.
Thank you.
One thing that you mentioned when you were dedicating some of these to people you had known, and it made a very strong impression on you to keep. When I was up in Provincetown studying painting back in the 60s, I actually met a young lady, and she was an artist, a visual artist, as I was at the time. But we would sit, and she taught me this whole thing, and when you had your eyes closed and breathing in and breathing out, she would do the same thing, and she would start in the literal mental massage of the body. And she would start with the feet and slowly work up to the face and ears and the top of the hair on the top of the head. And it would take usually around 20 to 30 minutes to do it. And it was quite an interesting trip, let's put it that way. You know, but, that, you brought all that back. I thank you for that.
Oh, cool.
I really do. A lot of these pieces that I've written, I'm obviously not going to read them all, but several of them are in regard to remembrances I had in growing up. And there's one in here, well, there are a couple of them. Let me see here. The first one I would like to do. I'll read this one first. It's entitled My Skunk Adventure. And this was experienced when I was in Provincetown as well. My Skunk Adventure. I was never close with skunks before, but that all changed the spring of '71 inside my door. In my studio loft, ready for sleep one night, I heard loud scratchings and spittings that were anything but slight. I looked over the railing as spurts of sand flew from under the floor, trying to figure the cause. I needed to think much more. Something alive and angry it had to be, I thought, having little fun this night as postures were vehemently sought. The giveaway came as I was hit in the nose by a horrific smell felt to the tips of my toes. Forced out, I left into the cold night air, thinking a strong hot coffee was indeed only fair. Over my steaming cup, it occurred to me that the mating of skunks this might had to be. Deep in those thoughts, as few minutes went by, I failed to notice around me those had moved away on the sly. It then dawned on me, as if slapped in the face, that smell I so remembered I had actually brought into this place. On this went for days on end, trying to figure a solution and find how to fend. I read mating mothers-to-be were hard to please, and that the hopeful dads were insistent to tease. The accepting moment must have come one day, but I never heard the final jest and plea to stay. 2 months gone, or maybe more, then one night I heard little squeaks so opposite of those before. I laid on the rug each late night and practiced my squeaking, finally getting it right. The little ones would answer, conversations were said. I later dreamed of the words as I laid up in bed. I never saw those little ones that spring, but will always remember, and to that I will cling.
That would make a great little children's book.
Well, it was quite an interesting time period because they certainly have a good smell. You do not ever forget it.
Yeah.
You see, there's another one I gotta find. Where is it? This is weird. Oh, this one. Now, this happened when I was in high school. And again, it's one of these things that you just never forget. Kim Teal, his day, that was his name. Thinking back to those high school years of long ago, sometimes I remember this happening that I still do know. My sophomore year, on a school bus trip we were on, this was when it occurred, and in my thoughts will never be gone. Kim Teal was my fellow classmate's name. He was bright and funny and loved playing any game. I was lucky this ride, sitting by his side. What was about to happen, we would never, ever hide. Discussions we were having, light in nature, they went on that way, reliving past moments of fun, still alive this very day. Kim burst out saying, "You gotta see this, guys." We all laughed, thinking how big, well, this be in funny size? Much more than funny, this was in size, truly a mind blower for all us guys. Kim took a deep breath, held his nose with fingers tight. What came next was riding this galaxy in plain sight. As he seemed to blow out his held air, nothing for a brief moment did we dare. Before us, what happened seemed a miracle in itself, but none of us thought of putting it away on a shelf. A big bubble of air was suddenly there, blown from the inside corner of his opened eye. As he closed the eye, the bubble went away into the atmosphere of our inside sky. He created that day one more bubble. We certainly had no seeing trouble. I never heard from that Kim did this again these last school years, but wonder, did he ever try blowing bubbles from one of his ears? And I don't have the answer to that.
Oh, life's mysteries.
Tim did that where I grew up.
Huh?
Tim did that.
Did he? Yeah, it's amazing to see it, to literally see it happen. It blew my mind, it really did. Now, let's see. This one is, it'll be the last one I'll do. It's entitled Performance of Sing. Rising from a seated push-away, I envisioned seeing, walking, and absorbing the life and death sides exploding around me, living within my aura of wanting to feel. Down this sliding winter ice path travel before I have done, clothed bodies before me, some alienated from, others offering walk-by smiles of outreaching friendliness. Response by smiles I do, but follow-up is not one of my aptitudes of of sunshine brightness. Watching others, audience-bound, responding to performances of all kinds that I attend also. I go respond mentally and physically to their emitted emotions, openly exuded into the atmosphere of delivery by those artists of performing grace. Singing is my favorite venue. Audiences, when moved to exertion, physically explode with body movements, arms and hands ranting in expressive moves, fingers touching opened mouth in unbelief of felt reality. Vocal song deliveries and body movements in sync are one of my favorite uplifts of mental physical absorption. A true stand-up hand clapping, not forgotten. Vocal soundings from these talents are so unique at times I dance in body motions or drum beat with fingered hands. I not only hear these unique talents, my body jumps on board in the marvelous pathway of emotion I truly love as I dance on. Thank you guys and girls.
Yep. I think Gordon might be the next one round.
Oh, wow.
I think so.
Yeah, goes quickly.
Wait.
All right.
Wow. Thank you, Dan. That was wonderful. I knew you were saying you were going to do a different approach, but I'll be eager to see the YouTube and then use it as a meditation. But I like what you, where you delve to and what you bring into the light. And it's good insight. So thank you. Okay. Just going to jump into it, folks. And this is called prompt. Time crunch to prepare the brain case to vomit out creative intention or intuitive expressions such as beaver moon. Stop right there. Cancel culture or PTA. The science program was on the radio. November's atmosphere, the full moon appears red in the sky as the light shines and shimmers through. Black in those industrious 70s, pollutants abounded unchecked. Breathe in, breathe out. My friend performs tonight, featuring at the library. Light air, deep down, present to be aware and listen to the spark. Then switch the pen, carve the wood, burn again the sun's warmth, cosmic solar power, sunspots, the static forth. What would happen with an electronic pulse? At heart, do I really mean it? One day I will cease to be, and to be responsible for the legacy of today is the focus.
Ooh.
Only what you can see out of your window. Norwegian spruce trees and the tree farm, emerald green arborvitae, as far as the eye can see. Then off course, the Horn Hill, sparse pines and oaks still clinging to their brown leaves, its rock face catching the sun always. I fancy Treebeard, perching, considering the ways of the world outside the forest line, when troubled, feeling the tremors from the bones of the earth. He felt it in the air, tasted it from the streams. The emerald greens align like the march of the wooden soldiers, except their roots ground them, later to be dug up, transplanting to new soil and ground, ornamental for the constant fence or barrier to hold in beautifying a landscape, a lawn. A hasty word the old ant could say, the same as Horn Hill or the outlying Deconic mountain range, older than old, once as high as the Rockies, time, place, circumstance, eroded by the elements of earth, wind, and fire. A great group, if you see them in concert, horns, electric guitars, and costumes extraordinaire. Not so bearing as Frodo or Samwise, but Merry and Pippin, to encounter the Ancient One, and he, the hasty little folk, who share the orb that holds view, to welcome imagination, there and back again. Nature, backwards or forwards, inspires, through sunrise or sunset.
Mm.
And last, maybe something that was inspired by tonight, featuring Mr. Buzi. Doesn't have a title. Picking up the ending. Under the soprano sky and listening to the new beginning of another mind make its contribution to the weave of the universe. Cobwebbed to a silk membrane stronger than steel, sensitive to detect a vibration affecting all in a good way, or not so. All together, a teaching moment to learn not to be complacent, but know by not knowing. The grandness of free will. I will be witness to the mosaic quilt creative and to the cosmos' scale. And justice, not so unique to me, myself, and I, aligned to the cause and effect. I am that I am. Part and parcel connected to the ocean, and pearl alabaster shimmering in the spirit sky, remembering to return back home.
Oh, boy.
Am I introducing myself?
You can if you
It
like.
seems like you are.
Hi, my name is Christoph. I'm Dan's friend. I'm down here from Schenectady area, and I used to read and write a lot of poetry, and I happen to have some on my phone, so I'm gonna read something. Try to read the room a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Maybe we'll just start from the beginning. All right, so I was going to call this self-love. So self-love by Christoph James. I know who I am now. I am Christophe Fontaine. Is that strange? Did I change? Nothing is the same but this name. P.S. I won the game. All this poetry is sacred to me. Please let it be free. I thank you and I thank thee. me jump to the other one if I can. I wrote this a long time ago. I don't think I've ever read this in public. Oh, and now it won't open. Oh, got it. Okay, so I call this the psychospiritualogical social schematic suspension.
Great title.
Yeah. Fluctuating. My tympanic heart. Dictating. It's time for me to start. Racing me red, facing me dead. Give it a go. I don't really know. These thoughts, no known notions. It's all about emotion. It's real mental energy in motion. It's giving me a projection from space. Our race is spiritual, more than very lyrical. Me to you, N-I-T-E-D, knighted. We kited, suspended. Tossing models of conformity below. I know we're at the same place, levels and planes, but struck with a cane on top. We're insane. Needlessly deranged, so all I can say is fly on the same page. We're writing this story together forever, and there's no such thing as age. Cage? Why rage? Better we rethink rehabilitation, crawl out of the city and out of the nation. You see, fear is a fixture, so fix your faith off the floor and open up the door. No rungs for 100-proof truths, overhung with convoluted thoughts, you're caught. With no solution, no one dares to care, but decorated with painted flags and the semiotics race and lags laps, busting caps of repetition, robbing pleasure. No treasure in the race for what? About cognition. I'm fishing for religion, but something deeper. And you, the keeper, keep on. Keep on keeping on. That's all. Normally, I'm not a big fan of reading off a phone, but at least I have this as my backup. Oh boy, jalapenos or shower?
Is that a title?
No,
Just
think
planning
of
the
the shower
future.
one. All right. So yeah, I wrote this on like St. Patrick's Day, 11 years ago, while eating sushi. And I hadn't been to this place since then. I went there with my dad a couple weeks ago, and I had sushi. And I was like, oh, I've been here since St. Patrick's Day 10 years ago. Anyway, so this is probably one of the most organized poems I had. Now I'm building it up. It's about gratitude. It's called Thank You, and it just kind of came out and flowed pretty well. So it's called Thank You. When I'm in the shower, I like to say thank you. I like to say thank you in a certain rhythmic way. I say lots of thank yous. This is what I say. Thank you, water. Thank you, soap. Thank you, fingers. Thank you, toes. I thank you, hands, and you too, feet. Thank you for the walking and the people I meet. Thank you for the warmth, and thank you for the cold. Thanks for the freshness. Helps me smell good, I'm told. When I'm in the shower, the water touches my skin. When I have myself cleansed, I tell myself, I win. When I'm in the shower, it goes from way hot to way cold. Standing in this shower, am I really growing old? Sometimes in the shower, I see my body's young. Standing in the shower, I have lots and lots of fun. So thank you, blessed shower. I bless your wondrous rain. Good morning, Mr. Shower. Tonight we'll meet again. These days can leave me filthy. There's so much going on. People seem so busy going on and on and on. So thank you, Mrs. Shower. You clean me every night. I love you, friendly shower. Let's never, ever fight. While I'm in the shower, I think of lots of things. There's so much to be grateful for. It brings my mouth to grins. I'm thankful for the flowers and grateful for the grains. I'm happy for my friendships which heals so many pains. I'm thankful for the food I eat and those caffeinated drinks. I'm grateful for my family, which has kept me in the world. I'm thankful for each time I meet a very special girl. I'm thankful for the love that's made, especially when it's true. I'm thankful for the condoms I use because there's already so many of you. I'm grateful knowing God, and I'll have to thank you, Satan, for without your release, my life, I'd still be hating. Let us all remember that you must have dark for light, but if you choose the former, you'll always have a fight. So judge you not the dark ones, nor condemn you any foe. God has placed all the right ones in your lovely little show. Curse not the people different, for it's them that give the gift. How else could you know you, or continue to exist? Imagine a room of nothing but white and white and white. Would you know of any something? Would you be all right? How could you tell the difference from big or small, tall or short? Would you be indifferent with an experience of this sort? What is it that makes you, you? Have you ever stopped to think? What's good and bad are labels so potent that they stink? This world is oh so relative. You're used to this, I know, but there's a reason that's behind this that's here for me to show. A painting must have contrast to see your pretty face. Your beingness will forever last. No hell is in this place. So useth your illusions and knoweth what they're for. I've come to tell you this. You're God, we're God, and there's really nothing more. Thanks be. Amen and amen. P.S. Remember to love your shower. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I love that one. All right, I'm going to close it up tonight with a couple of last poems. Thank you, everybody who read. Thank you, everybody who listened, because otherwise reading wouldn't have much of a point. All right, so let's see here. Inspired by Christoph. I'm reading off my phone. So I wrote a bunch of posts on Facebook, which were all about thanking people, and so that's why it's just reminded me of that. And I've written odes actually, strangely, to 3 people in this room, but this one is for Stav. So we met way back at Marist College when we were both 18 years old, and we're older than that now. Okay, so Christophe Fontaine is 1 in a billion stars. That man dances on keys like they're diamonds on the soles of his shoes, made the spontaneous standard and taught lessons like Pan in the Marist forests. Long before the awakening, he made the everyday magic. Who could forget the holidays? Didn't you celebrate 10/10? What is it? A celebration of this gloriously ordinary world. A fire by the Hudson, a drink with a friend or 10 or a few dozen, crawling the campus, the academy, onward to the end of the world along the river's edge. What even is he, this Christoph, who tacks holy on days and makes them glitter like the early morning sun on the river's rippled waters? I give thanks to know him and the worlds he creates. Carry on, Christophe Fontaine, carry on. These other poems, I've got a couple of memories for you. So these first ones are from where I grew up in Bridgeport. And this one's written from my little childhood self. It's called I Can't Visit Carlos No More. My daddy told me I can't visit Carlos no more. He lives in a bad neighborhood and has the most fun house ever. We ate fried ham sandwiches, only it wasn't ham. His mama said it different, but anyway, they had Nintendo, and on another TV was the Genesis, and there's a computer too with games and all, and it feels like home with me and Carlos and Andres and Carlos's family all around. But I can't go there no more because it's not safe, even if it's full of love and video games.
Wow. Caption perfect.
And this next one is maybe gives you some clue about why my parents said I can't visit there no more. This is called Bridgeport. I remember falling asleep on the bus to acid smells and the decay of bricks and the smooth vibrations as I rested my head on a rattling window. I remember vaguely the day we saw the sirens and the men all crowding around what would later be a body in my mind when my parents told me that I shouldn't have to see such things. And this last one is from a lot further in my past or future, whatever. It's from high school. And so we used to go to my friend's house who was right across the street from the high school. And we would go at night onto the football field and just hang out, you know, throw rocks at each other or whatever. And this is called Crownless Kings. It's about one of those nights hanging out together and a weird experience I had. The stars were sharp. We could see our breath. 4 freshmen on the field long after the crowds had left. Walking the wet grass, we owned the night. Crownless kings, we danced and screamed the songs of boys with shields of dreams, and we could be anything. I felt my knees then on the cold, damp grass. The stars were speaking, though I barely grasped then the words that would echo through my years. Every king is a skeleton. The grass is their grave. Your goals are too small with pride as their aim. If gold and if glory, if girls and if gain, oh cower, young king, life is nothing but change. The high are made low and the low are upraised. Look into my darkness and out through my eyes, but do not stay long, for I too will die. And the night went silent, though 3 kings rambled ahead. I could hear the silence, but was losing the thread. The cloud of my breath raised up like a ghost. I held on to watch it, but then it was gone.
Yes.
Thanks for coming on, everybody.
Thanks for doing
Thank
you.
Thanks for having us.
There are copies of this book over here. If you'd like one, please take one. And if you'd like to make a donation for it, you can do that as well. But I would really like everybody to have one. So even if you don't have anything on you, please take one.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Donations.